All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another WNBA regular season video. In this video, we're going to talk about Azzi Fudd and the Dallas Wings. And Azzi Fudd finishing her rookie campaign on a sour note. She will miss the remainder of the season with a right knee injury that we'll get into. We're going to talk about how this impacts the Dallas Wings, how this impacts or finishes her rookie campaign and her fight for Rookie of the Year, and a little bit of the future. So if you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. So yes, Azzi Fudd will undergo right knee surgery and will miss the remainder of the season. I believe it's a scope on her knee, some version of that. It's not a truly invasive surgery to my knowledge, but it is for a player that has a history of knee injuries. Let's go back a little bit here. Azzi Fudd has had a history of knee injuries, including a torn ACL and MCL in her right knee in 2019, and another ACL and meniscus tear in the same knee in 2023, which ended her UConn season. So this is not the first time Azzi Fudd has had to have surgery on that knee in particular, but surgery in general. She's missed time away from basketball before. She's been through the recovery process before, but this amount of knee injuries before you're even like 30 is vaguely concerning. And I don't want to put too much of a damper on this video too quickly. So we will turn to her stats and where she ended up in her rookie year, because this is her final statistical counting stats for her rookie season. 13.1 points, 1.7 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 45% from field goal, 39% from three, 45 effective field goal percentage. Her PER was 14, and she played 30 games this season at the ripe old age of 23 years old. I would say, well, let me preface my next couple statements with, I could so easily do my victory lap right now and tell everybody that told me Azzi Fudd was gonna win Rookie of the Year and all this stuff. And she was like the missing piece to like the Wings going to like the finals or something. Um, I could so easily take my victory lap because I had my doubts about Azzi Fudd at the beginning of the draft process, not just the start of the college season. When I started doing draft videos about this draft class, I was like, I'm not sure Azzi Fudd's the number one pick. There's this problem, there's that problem. I mentioned her injuries at the time. It had seemed like those injury concerns had sort of waned off, so I stayed away from the topic because it was like, if she's going to be healthy, then she's going to be healthy. We just have to worry about her actually, putting in impactful effort on the basketball court, and she managed to do that throughout her rookie year. And I was actually really surprised that she caught on so quickly, especially after coming off the bench for a little bit at the start of the year, and then getting to start and being a key starter in a lot of those combination lineups that they ran. Whether it was the three guard, whether it was just her and Paige, she was important. And like I said, it'd be so easy for me to be like, see, guys, I told you the injury concerns, this and that, but I won't do that. I had always thought that Azzi Fudd was never number one pick material to me. There were a lot of concerns. I will stick my hand up and I will say I thought Dallas should have taken a big. They should have taken Betts. They should have taken Pham. They should have taken somebody else, right? In reality, they should have taken Olivia Miles, who I'm not going to do revisionist history on myself and say I was here saying they should have taken Olivia Miles. I tossed around the idea, but I dislike the combination of Olivia Miles and Paige Beckers way more than I dislike the combination of Azzi Fudd and Paige Beckers. I thought Dallas really needed a big. They still kind of need a big, even though they have Jess Shepard, who's having like a really great most improved player type of year. I thought Olivia Miles and Paige Beckers wasn't going to fit. I thought Azzi Fudd and Paige Beckers wasn't going to work. I guess to a certain standard, it did work. Paige and Azzi obviously have a lot of history, played at UConn together. They bounce off each other very well. But this does put an end to that. For the time being, the Dallas Wings are, I believe, 4 or 5 games out from clinching a playoff spot, so they are still in dire need of wins, and Azzi was helping them win a lot of games She had some rough nights. She had some good nights. Where do I think AZ lands after this? There's a lot of things going on in Dallas. They're getting the new practice facility soon. They're moving into the American Airlines Center um, next season, and there's a coaching sort of dilemma. A lot of fans don't like the coach. They just beat the Indiana Fever last night. As the recording of this video, this is pre-recorded, um, and there's just a bunch of good stuff going on. There's a bunch of interesting, quote unquote, bad stuff going on. Um, it seems like the coach Jose Fernandez has lost the locker room already. I'm not sure that's great. And AZ was sort of the guinea pig for all of this, where Jose Fernandez didn't want to start her right away. She came off the bench a couple games. Then she started really playing. She played well. She won the 3-point contest at All Star Weekend. Um, the first rookie to ever do that. And she put up some really good 3-point numbers. She played some really great defense. It didn't match up to her classmate in Olivia Miles, who is by far and away the rookie of the year, maybe close to MVP. I'm not ready to say that about Olivia Miles, but very close to MVP already as a rookie. There were talks of her like pulling a Candace Parker, winning Rookie of the Year and MVP. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think we should do that. But that's neither here nor there. Azzi Fudd lost the battle. She lost the battle for Rookie of the Year. It was over before it even started. And I don't think there was any world in which she could win Rookie of the Year. It was a very weird situation that she got drafted to. And we all know, or we don't all know, but I can tell you guys, the Dallas Wings, even when they were the Tulsa Shock, even when they were the Tulsa Wings, or whatever iteration of the team they were, they've moved around a couple times, staying in the Dallas slash Texas area. Um, they're not a competent franchise. I hate to tell you, they're not a competent franchise. So, um, AZ and Paige being used to um, some stability and some really good coaching coming from UConn, it's a bit of a shock for them. Paige has been in her own head. She's been dealing with her own stuff, I assume, off the court, so I'm not going to speculate on that. But Paige hasn't been the best recently. This is another blow to the Wings and their long sort of line of hit or miss draft picks. They had Liz Cambage, who was really good, still holds the most points scored in a single game in WNBA history. Um, then you have like Charlie Collier, who was a bust. Then you have like Paige Beckers, who is really good and has already been an All-Star. Then you have Azzi Fudd, who's TBD question mark. Yeah, it's a weird time in Dallas. It's been a weird time in Dallas since I've been a WNBA fan. Um, I don't really understand um, what the thought process is here. Because you take AZ, you take Paige, you have your 1-2, you have your guard combination, and luckily you get Jess Shepard, who has become a most improved player, who's going to be a really good player for the next couple years. So you have your center. She doesn't play any defense though. Paige is hit or miss on defense. AZ's your really only like hard nosed defender. You have Enrique Agumbawale, who's up and down like a roller coaster. I assume she's not going to be here long term, especially considering um, AZ will probably be back to start this season, next season. Um, and then you paying Alana Smith $1 million to do nothing, essentially, coming off a Defensive Player of the Year season. And she's been a terrible mess. The coach has been odd, we'll put it that way. I think he's fine. I think you need some stability in the coaching, even if there are these hard times where the coach sort of is a little, brash and is a little, not always under control with his emotions. I think it's a growing process. And this whole team needs to grow. This team is not anywhere near a WNBA championship. They're not anywhere near that. And it starts with AZ and it starts with Paige. I will say this. Um, I do like the combination of them both. Actually seeing it at the WNBA level, um, I will say confidently here that it works. I see what people think. I would love to see it with a real small forward. I would love to see with like a real, because like Maddie Sigris is okay enough. They're playing a walk at the 3 sometimes. They've been running the 3 guard lineups, like I said. Um, you just want to see some different iterations of this team. And if if I have to make a comparison, I said this when they drafted her. Um, Keep in mind, she's the number one pick. Um, you're getting essentially Clay Thompson as your number one pick, which in a lot of cases you're like, oh, you got Clay Thompson, great, right? Clay Thompson's a really great NBA player, or was 3-and-D, so a lot of 3-point records. He was thrown on the best defender, the best offensive player as the best defender on those Warriors teams that got many championships. Um, but then you look up one pick down, you look down one pick down, and you see Olivia Miles. And the Minnesota Lynx got Chris freaking Paul. It's like, uh, it's a bit of an awkward conversation because it's like, okay, you have to keep it fair because like I'll try not to mention her name too much, but people are comparing Olivia Miles' rookie year to Caitlin Clark's rookie year. It's like Olivia Miles was drafted to the best team, possibly the best situation with the best coach and the best front office. The rest of these rookies have to deal with being regular rookies. They're at bad organizations with bad coaches and bad front offices. That's just how it is, right? Um, that's no dig at Olivia Miles. She was just very lucky, to land there. Um, and it's sort of very unlucky for Paige and Azzi to both be in the situation where these next couple years you're going to be on these rookie deals, right? You're going to be locked in. You're just going to be trying to improve the team, improve yourself. But then when time comes a calling, are both these players going to be worth $1 million+ because that's where we're heading in the WNBA? Are both these players going to be worth $1 million+ to your franchise and hard cap your team with two guards being your two best players when at least for now, the league is sort of run by bigs. The bigs dictate championships. Um, I don't know about that. I do want to take a step back and talk about AZ's final year in college. Because, interestingly enough, her numbers aren't too dissimilar from what she got in her rookie. She played 39 games in college, so only 9 games. That she played 39 games in her final year in college, and she played 30 in her WNBA first season. And then we go through the stats, right? 17 points per game, 2.6 rebounds, 3 assists, 48% from field goal, 44% from three, and her effective field goal was 59. If we go look at her WNBA stats, um, her free throw dropped off a little bit. Her three only went down by 5%. She's still almost a 40% three-point shooter. Her effective field goal remains in the 50s, and her points went down. But her points went down because she's playing with better players. College players, college systems, and college players are different than WNBA players and WNBA systems. Even if Wings fans don't think Coach Fernandez has a really great system, it does work at times. And yeah, let's move on here to where the Dallas Wings are. I think objectively, yeah, I can say it. This season's a failure. I put them in my biggest losers video. So yeah, it's been a failure. Like I said, they're 4 or 5 games out from clinching a playoff spot. They're going to be one of the last teams to do it unless they go on a crazy run and some of these other teams drop down. But they're the 8th seed right now. They're 21-16. They are 9 games back from the number 1 seed, Minnesota Lynx 30-7. Or they're 9 wins back, I should say, from there. And they're behind the New York Liberty, 1 game ahead of them. The Washington Mystics have 2 less losses than the Wings, so they are ahead of them as well. And the Atlanta Dream just beat the brakes off the Sparks, and they play the Sparks again in a couple days. So there's a couple easy layups for the Dream coming up. And the Wings, man, the Wings. I said in my biggest losers video, it doesn't matter if they're going to make the playoffs probably, right? There's about like a 95% chance they make the playoffs. Whatever happens in the postseason is not going to be pretty because you're going to be playing the Minnesota Lynx or the Golden State Valkyries or the Las Vegas Aces. The Lynx are going to eat them up. The Valkyries, maybe the Dallas Wings could have a chance, like a game or two, and then Vegas. I mean, this is a different Vegas team than the one Dallas saw a couple months ago now, and this is a different Dallas team than Vegas saw a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago now. I don't think this is an easy path for the Dallas Wings to do anything in the playoffs. They play Seattle, Portland, Connecticut, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Seattle, from August 23rd to September 23rd. So this is the last month of basketball for them. Essentially, they play one, two, three, four, five, six, seven games. One, two, three, four. Four of these teams are officially out of like playoff contention. Portland, Phoenix are still like fighting a little bit, but there isn't much momentum for them to make it. But they're still going to put up a fight, and I assume Los Angeles is still going to put up a fight too because Nneka Ogwumike announced her retirement, so they want to end the season on some good notes. Um, yeah, it's not going to be good for them. We're not going to talk too much about the future and like whatever, but like the immediate future is like this is a huge blow to Dallas. Like I said, AZ was very good for them, and I think they'll miss her shooting. She's probably, I think she has the chance to be one of the more consistent players on this team, given the playing time, given she comes back from her injury well. And yeah, unfortunately, that does put an end to a rookie campaign. And I do want to head back just for a second and talk about the players she could have joined as a rookie of the year. There's some interesting names here. I just want people to know there are some interesting names here. So going backwards from 2025, I guess we'll say to 2015, right? The rookie of the years in the WNBA have been Paige Beckers, who's her teammate, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, both Indiana Fever players, Ryan Howard of the Atlanta Dream, Michaela Onwari was a part of the New York Liberty, Crystal Dangerfield, who that's the 2020 season, so everybody doesn't remember that year, but I don't remember Crystal Dangerfield at all. I don't know who the hell that was. Nafisa Collier was Rookie of the Year in 2019. Her teammate, Olivia Miles, will be probably Rookie of the Year. There's about a 99.9% chance that happens. And then 2018, Asia Wilson. 2017, Alicia Gray. 2016, Brianna Stewart, UConn alumni. Nafisa Collier, also UConn alumni. And then Drew Lloyd in 2015. So yeah, that's those are the Rookie of the Years that Azzi Fudd will not be joining, and Olivia Miles will probably join. And the last thing I want to talk about, since we have a little time, I do want to talk about the rookie battle and what happened. Um, Olivia Miles has just been so great, man. I I was somebody who was concerned about Olivia Miles and Azzi Fudd, their games transitioning to the WNBA. I was very concerned about it because Olivia Miles never she had the floor vision and she had the passing, but everything else I was sort of worried about. But she's taken everything in stride. Azzi Fudd, I'll say this, and I said I'm not going to do my victory lap, even though it'd be so easy for me to do my victory lap and say, "Hey, I was right. She was not number one pick material." She's not number one pick material. I think her being the number one pick is more of a detriment to her career than it would be for a lot of other players because there's such an expectation, there's such a spotlight on the number one pick always, and you look at all these players, right? Like I mentioned, Beckers, Clark, Boston, Howard, um, Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson, Alicia Gray, Brianna Stewart, Jula. A lot of these players have gone on to do great things, especially Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, even Jewel Lloyd, and then you have Nafisa Collier and Alicia Gray in that next tier. And then you have like some like okay enough players like Ryan Howard's here also who's a good enough player. You have players like Michaela Onwari who's like a bench player in Washington now. Crystal Dangerfield. I'm not even sure if she's still playing basketball. Um, you want to be one of these outliers. You want to be an Asia Wilson. You want to be a Brianna Stewart, right? You don't. No offense. You don't want to be a Crystal Dangerfield, And I feel like having a bad rookie campaign sort of puts you in that area already. By bad rookie campaign, I mean just ending prematurely. That's bad, Not her actual play. But Olivia Miles just was so head and shoulders above everybody else, and again, Olivia Miles was drafted to a really great situation. And would Azzi Fudd be doing the same things? She'd probably have way better numbers if she was in Minnesota. But like, I don't know if the roles were reversed, would it be any different? Because Olivia Miles was just seemingly just destined to do this. It's one of those seasons where you just throw up your hands and you're like, nobody's catching that. She's just head and shoulders above everybody else. And then for AZ, again, I feel like it's Klay Thompson. I feel like my comparison to her in the WNBA was Allie Quigley. That was my comparison of Azzi Fudd when they drafted her, or even pre-draft process. That's who I said she could be. Maybe an all-star a couple times, a couple three-point, leader nods, best three-point percentage in the league, all that stuff. I don't think I think she's a major cog in a bigger machine. I don't think she's the main cog though. And for me personally, I'm always like draft the best player available, right? Hindsight's 2020, but for the people who watched her college season, watched Olivia Miles' college season, everybody knew that AZ wasn't going to be the best player in this draft. And it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But this does, I think, leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. And it's going to leave a lot of people not like me because I'm not going to rub it in your guys' faces, but seeing like, see, I was right. I was right. A lot of people are going to go on the social media and say that. I think that's very unfair to AZ. But the Wings did know of her injury history previously to drafting her. They had the number one pick. They could have done whatever they wanted with it. And they decided to take AZ. And again, before I keep rambling, recycling the same old things that I'm saying, but given the time, I think AZ would be halfway decent WNBA player. Is she going to be Olivia Miles? Hell no. Hell no. But yeah, that's it. I just want to talk about this Azzi Fudd stuff. Put a bow on it because I feel like I want to say I was one of the first people to talk about Azzi Fudd, but I was one of the first people to be like, hey, this doesn't feel right to me. And I've admitted my faults when evaluating both of these players, Azzi Fudd and Olivia Miles. But yeah, I feel like this puts an end on it. Whatever happens in the postseason, it will not include Azzi Fudd for the Wings. And we will see Azzi Fudd potentially. I don't know if she's doing it this offseason in Project B, perhaps, or maybe next season in the WNBA. So it'll be a long time without Azzi Fudd basketball. So sorry to the Fudd heads. Sorry to Wings fans. But yeah, that's it. That's the video. If you want to check out more of my content, there's a playlist on the right. If you want to check out just another video after this one, you can click the video on the left. And if you click my little icon in the bottom middle of the screen, a little subscribe will pop up and you can subscribe with ease. Like and comment as well. And I will see you guys next time. Cheers.